Definition of organizational culture. Organizational culture is the shared set of values, beliefs, and behaviors that define how people within a company interact and operate. It encompasses everything from decision-making processes and leadership styles to communication norms and employee engagement. Culture is often described as the personality of an organization, shaping its overall work environment and identity. Whether intentional or not, every company has a culture, and it influences how employees perform, collaborate, and respond to challenges. One of the key aspects of organizational culture is that it is shaped by both formal and informal elements. Formal aspects include company policies, mission statements, and organizational structures, while informal aspects emerge from employee interactions, traditions, and unspoken workplace norms. A company may claim to value innovation, but if employees fear making mistakes, the real culture may be one of risk aversion. Culture is also deeply embedded in an organization's daily operations. It influences hiring decisions, performance expectations, and even customer interactions. Companies with strong cultures often have high levels of employee engagement, customer loyalty, and long-term stability. Conversely, a weak or toxic culture can lead to low morale, high turnover, and ethical failures. Because culture is so pervasive, it is important for founders and business leaders to actively shape it from the beginning. By setting clear expectations and fostering positive behaviors early on, organizations can build a strong foundation that supports growth, innovation, and ethical business practices. Importance of early culture formation in startups. Startups operate in fast-paced, uncertain environments, making a strong culture even more critical. In the early stages of a business, there are no established traditions, and employees often wear multiple hats. This flexibility can be beneficial, but without a clearly defined culture, it can also lead to confusion, misalignment, and inefficiency. One of the biggest reasons to establish culture early is that it becomes increasingly difficult to change as a company grows. In small teams, culture forms naturally through direct interactions between founders and employees. However, as an organization scales, these informal norms solidify into standard practices. If negative behaviors or unclear expectations take root, they can become deeply embedded, making future cultural shifts more challenging. Another key reason to focus on culture from day one is that it helps attract and retain the right talent. Employees seek workplaces where they feel aligned with the company's values and mission. A startup with a clear cultural identity can appeal to like-minded individuals who are motivated to contribute to its success. Without a defined culture, hiring decisions may become inconsistent, leading to a team that lacks cohesion. Finally, early culture formation sets the foundation for organizational decision-making. Startups must constantly make strategic choices, and a well-established culture provides a framework for those decisions. When employees understand the company's core values, they can make decisions that align with its long-term vision, leading to greater consistency, trust, and accountability across the organization. How culture impacts long-term success. A well-defined organizational culture is a key driver of long-term business success. Companies with strong cultures consistently outperform those that lack a clear identity. Studies show that organizations with engaged employees, clear values, and strong leadership tend to experience higher productivity, customer loyalty, and financial performance. One of the biggest ways culture impacts long-term success is through employee satisfaction and retention. When employees feel connected to the company's mission and values, they are more engaged and motivated. High engagement leads to lower turnover rates, reduced hiring costs, and a more stable workforce, all of which contribute to long term success. Culture also influences customer relationships and brand reputation. Organizations that prioritize ethical behavior, innovation, or customer centricity often build strong, loyal customer bases. A company's internal culture reflects externally. Businesses known for treating employees well, such as Costco and Southwest Airlines, also tend to have positive brand perceptions. Lastly, culture affects a company's ability to adapt and innovate. Organizations with cultures that encourage learning, collaboration, and calculated risk taking are better equipped to handle challenges and seize new opportunities. In contrast, businesses with rigid or fear driven cultures struggle to pivot when market conditions change. Long term success requires a culture that supports both stability and adaptability, ensuring that companies remain competitive in a constantly evolving business landscape. Role of founders in shaping culture. Founders have an outsized impact on culture, especially in the early stages of a business. Unlike large corporations where culture is influenced by multiple layers of leadership, startups take their cultural cues directly from the values, behaviors, and decisions of their founders. This means that every action a founder takes, whether intentional or not, sets the tone for how employees interact, communicate, and approach their work. One of the primary ways founders shape culture is through their leadership style. If a founder is transparent, collaborative, and ethical, employees will follow suit. If they prioritize speed and innovation, the culture will reflect those values. However, if a founder is inconsistent or disengaged, employees may struggle to understand expectations, leading to a weak or chaotic culture. Founders also influence culture through hiring and team building decisions. The first few hires in a startup play a crucial role in reinforcing the company's values. If a founder prioritizes cultural fit alongside technical skills, they can build a team that shares a common vision. On the other hand, if early hires lack alignment with the founder's values, subcultures may emerge that create internal conflicts. Lastly, founders shape culture by reinforcing company values through actions, not just words. Culture is not built through mission statements alone. It must be demonstrated through everyday behavior. Employees watch how leaders handle challenges, make decisions, and interact with stakeholders. When founders consistently uphold company values, they create a culture that is both authentic and sustainable. Connection between culture, leadership, and HR. Organizational culture does not exist in isolation. It is closely connected to leadership and human resource management. Leadership sets the vision, HR systems provide the structure, and culture serves as the foundation that ties everything together. A strong business cannot thrive without the alignment of these three elements. Leadership plays a central role in defining and reinforcing culture. Leaders influence company values, communication styles, and work expectations. However, leadership alone is not enough. Culture must be embedded into the company's systems and policies. This is where HRM plays a critical role. HR systems, such as hiring practices, performance management, and employee engagement initiatives, ensure that culture is reinforced at every level of the organization. For example, if a company values innovation, HR policies should encourage creative problem solving through flexible work structures, professional development opportunities, and recognition programs. Similarly, if an organization prioritizes ethical behavior, HRM should enforce policies on fair compensation, workplace transparency, and accountability. Without these structural reinforcements, culture remains a vague concept rather than an operational reality. Another key connection between culture, leadership, and HR is how they collectively impact employee experience. Employees are more engaged and motivated when they see a consistent message from leadership and HR practices that support their growth and well being. When culture and HR are misaligned, such as a company that claims to value work life balance but overworks employees, disengagement, burnout, and turnover increase. Ultimately, successful companies understand that culture, leadership, and HR are interdependent. A strong culture requires leaders who model the right behaviors, HR systems that reinforce values, and employees who feel empowered to contribute to a shared vision. When these elements work together, organizations create an environment where employees thrive, businesses grow, and long term success is sustained.